It's Brock Forkey with Real Capital Group Property Management. Hey, just wanted to do a video today on selecting the right property management firm. So we did a report years ago for ourselves. It was basically questions that we would ask if we were hiring a property manager. And back in 2008, we were flipping, actually back in 2006, we were flipping a lot of houses. And by 2008, we weren't selling those flips any longer, and we were owning them, and we were going to have to hold them. So we were thinking of what to do, and one of the options we had was to interview property management companies. So that's where this report originated from. Over the years, we've added our answers to the questions because we ended up starting our own property management company, and because we had done it years and years before, back in 1999 we started in the real estate business and owned a lot of properties. So we've been in the property management business since 99, and we've been with this business since the late 2007. So that's when this report actually started. So the first question that we put in here is, what makes your company different from all your competitors? And we have 5 answers to that question. There's many more than 5, but there's 5 major ones. Number 1, we have a 12-month guarantee on all tenant placement. So if we put a tenant in your property, we're going to guarantee that tenant for a year. Anything happens, if 10 months in they default, we'll go ahead and re-rent the property at no cost to you. 11 months, 12, up until 12 months. We're guaranteeing it for the whole lease. Normally we do a year lease. We're going to guarantee the tenant for the whole lease. We also have a 99% success rate in all tenant placement. That's why we can offer the 12-month guarantee. We only evict 1% of tenants that we place, which is extremely low, extremely low. One point of contact for owners. When we started the property management company, we felt that a lot of what we heard from clients of our competitors that were interviewing us, they were telling us that it was like DMV at the company they were with. They would call this person for this and call this person for that, and they felt like they weren't really getting any customer service. So we felt like if we had one point of contact, it would make it a lot easier for our clients. So we've always had one point of contact here. And what we do with that is, because our clients are all around the world, we can communicate any way that you prefer to be communicated by. We also have award-winning property management software, best property management software in the business. We spent about a year studying this and went with Appfolio, and we have 24-hour, access, direct deposit to our clients. So that's another thing. Whatever account you want your money to go into, we'll direct deposit into that account for you. We've been in the business, like I said, for since 18 years. Since 1999 is when we originally started in the property management and real estate business. So that's a question that we ask. If you were interviewing a company, you'd want to know how long have they been in the real estate and the property management business. Not how long have you been a realtor, or how long have you been a real estate investor, but how long have you actually been managing real estate and been in the investment side of the business. So we've been doing it for 18 years. What kind of insurance does your company have? We have $1 million liability policy and workers' compensation on all employees. Does your firm have a real estate broker's license? To manage property for a third party, more than one in the state, you have to have in New York State, you have to have a real estate broker's license, and we are licensed here. What's the next question here? How many properties do you manage? We manage over 100 individual properties. So at any given time, it's 200 to 300 units, depending on what we're actually managing. Properties come and go. People sell their properties. People move up to different types of properties. They may have a 2-family and buy a 5-family. They may have a 10-unit and buy a 5-unit, depending on what their situation is. So our properties change on a monthly basis. But at any given time, we're normally managing at least 100 properties for clients all around the world. Do you have a team approach to management? We do. We have a property manager, we have a finance manager, we have a collections manager, we have a leasing staff, and we have a maintenance department. How do you handle communication with owners? And like I said, we have one point of contact. We take this very seriously. We want to make sure that because what's happening, what we're doing for an owner is we're providing them the service of taking care of their property, obviously, and they're not here a lot of times. And if they are local, they're not involved in the day-to-day property management, so they need to know what's going on. So the communication between us and the owner is very important to us, and we want to make sure the owner is getting that communication the way they ask for it. Some owners want more, some owners want less, and depending on where they are in the world, that's going to play into it as well. How do you handle communication with tenants? When a tenant calls into our office, we have them, they go into the extension of the person they're calling. So if they have a finance question, they'll go to the finance department. Most times they'll talk to the property manager who is assigned to their property. If it's a maintenance issue, they'll go to the maintenance supervisor and he will dispatch the appropriate person to do the work. We do have in-house maintenance to save our clients money, and so we can go over that. If you have that question, I can go in detail on a conversation with you on that. How do you handle emergencies? We have a 24/7 call center that answers all of our calls and dispatches the appropriate person to the job. And that's every day of the year. We're always on call. How is your company with technology? Like I said, we have the award-winning software. We do inspections through the software. We do work orders through the software, and it's all very transparent to the owner and also to the tenant. The tenant can go in and see what's been done, and if there's a work order, when it will be done. So it keeps owners and tenants very happy and everything very transparent. Can I only pay for the services I need? Yes, we do not. Some companies require you to have they only have one contract. We have 4 different options, so we try to make it as easy as possible and have an option for every owner, because every owner is going to want a different option. Not one thing is going to be great for every owner's situation. How do you find prospective tenants? We have at least 50 websites that our properties go out to. Once we stick them on our website, the technology automatically syndicates them all over the internet to all different properties. I don't even know how many sites, but at least 50. Our website, 518 Renter, is very familiar to the rental community, so that also is where they go, 518renter.com. We do spend money on radio. We promote 518 Renter on the radio. Also, different events throughout the year. We promote 518renter.com so people know that website exists, and it's been around for a long time. And okay, so one of the most important things here is how does your firm screen tenants? And the way we do screening tenants is we're looking for a few things. One thing we're looking for is how long have they been at their job. It's very important that they've been employed for a number of years. We're not looking for people that have been employed for 6 months, take a month off, go back for 3 months, and take another month off. That's already telling us that we're going to be in for problems. So we're looking for people that have been with their job. We're really looking for 2 years, but if they've been at the job for 4 years and they just recently switched, we'll look at all that, and if it makes sense, great. Doesn't make sense, then we may have a problem with that tenant and we're not going to lease to them. The other thing we're going to look at is the New York State Sex Offender Registry. Make sure that they're not on that. That's important to us. We'll also check eviction records and see if they've ever been evicted before. And a real important thing is we're going to speak to their landlord they have now and their landlord they had previously. That's going to give us a good indication. I mean, there's 3 things we're looking for. 3 things we expect from a tenant. We want them to go to work so they can pay their rent and take care of the property. And that's about it. I mean, that's what we're looking for. So we have to check and see if they've been doing that. And if they've been doing that for the last 10 years and they've been doing that for their life, then they're probably going to treat your property right. And so that's what we do. Normally, it'll take about 7 days to get that done, and then we'll know if they're good. We also check if the landlord they currently have is really truly the landlord. So we have ways to check and verify it, and we have different questions we can ask the landlord to make sure that they're really truly the landlord of the property, because we can get a little data on the property and ask them a couple questions to know they're really not. It's not this tenant's brother or sister or friend saying they're a landlord. So that helps out a lot. We've actually caught people in lies in the past, and that really helps out a lot to verify that they're really truly the tenant. I'm sorry, really truly the landlord. Do you have a finance department? Yes, we have to have a finance department, obviously, to manage the rent and make sure the owner gets their payment on time. So yes, we do have that. When is the rent due? Our policy on our lease is the rent is due on the 1st, and we give them a 5-day grace period. Because sometimes it falls over the weekend. A lot of tenants are living check to check, and we want to make sure they have time to get it in. And after the 5th, we start the eviction process. Now, we're not looking to evict anybody, but we do send out a 3-day. Just like National Grid would send out, or your phone service would send out a cancellation and a bill the day after, right? If you don't pay, it's going to be religiously go out that day every month. That's how ours is. Every month on the 6th, we're sending those out. The tenant knows they're going to get them if they pay late. So that's just what happens. Now, we don't start the eviction process until after the fact, until we know for sure they're not going to pay. And that's normally by about the 15th of the month. Which, and again, what I said before is we only have a 1% eviction rate. So we're not doing this very much. But sending the 3-day out is part of the property management fee, and we do send it out. There's no extra cost to the owner. Okay, so how do you handle past due rent? The month, and we give them a 3-day notice. Our finance department starts making calls right after that. So in the morning, every morning, they'll make collection calls, and at evening they'll make collection calls. Trying to make a payment arrangement with anybody who's late. Sometimes things happen and people become late, and we want to make sure that we put a payment plan together right away so that we can have it in order. And what we don't want is the rent to go into the following month. We want to, if they're going to be late, we want to make sure we get that money as soon as possible, and normally before the 15th, so the owner can receive it when we send out statements. It says, how fast can you start managing my property? In most cases, we can start managing your property right away. We've had banks and we've had different agencies contact us, estates that need management today, and we've been able to put that in place right away. If they're firing a manager and they need somebody to take over right away, we can normally do that right away. It's not a problem. We have the staff to do it, and normally it's getting to the property, notifying the tenants, figuring out what the solution is to the problems, and start managing the property. And we can normally do that right away in the same day. We can put a plan together with the owner and start working on it. Last question we have on here is, what is our leasing hours? And our leasing hours, we set up hours after work and on the weekends. So we're available on Saturday and Sunday, and we're also available, throughout the day. I mean, our people start at 9 a.m. and they'll work until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes they'll set up showings at 8:30 if that's the only time a tenant can get there. So our leasing staff has flexible hours. They're open to schedule their day the way they need to schedule it. So if you want to give me a call, email us, we can send this report out to you so you can take a look at it, stack it up against other companies and get their answers to take these questions and get answers and see how they answer the questions. Look forward to speaking with you in the future. Hopefully this helps. Have a great day.